Hello everyone. We're gonna get started here in just a second with our webinar, 6 steps to 6 figures in network marketing. If you're on here and you can hear me clearly, go to the chat box and put in number 2. Let's see, yeah, we got plenty of number 2s. Excellent, awesome. So let's get started. So in today's webinar, I wanna share with you the bulletproof process to creating 6 figures in network marketing in less than 12 months. Even if right now you don't have a big team yet. Here's really what this webinar is all about. You know, there's so many information out there today in the marketplace, and it's sometimes hard to identify what you really need to be focusing on. So I'm going to share with you from my experience exactly not only what Miguel and I did to create a 6 and then even 7-figure network marketing business, but how we help countless students to scale to 6 figures in less than 12 months, even if they don't have a big team. So let's get going. So who is this for? Well, this is for leaders in network marketing who are now ready to scale in the next 12 months. You've come to a point in your business when you're ready to go. You're ready to step up, take massive action, and scale in the next 12 months by at least 6 figures. This is also for anyone who's struggling right now with attracting and growing high quality leaders. If you're someone, that you really don't have many great quality business builders in your team, this is for you. This is also for you if you want to create duplication that goes beyond 3-4 levels deep. We all know, going into 3, 4, 5 levels deep in our teams actually requires some systemization so that it's not just to do with your influence. This is also for leaders who know that their success depends on creating a team system. And for anyone who's tired of trial and error and is now seeking a proven process so they can just focus on massive action. Have you ever felt like this? I mean, if you just knew that this is the right path, wouldn't you be willing to put in massive action into your business? Yeah, definitely, right? And so in the next 45 minutes, what I'm going to be doing is really going into the details of the bulletproof process to creating 6 figures in network marketing in less than 12 months. And I'm going to be sharing the exact process that we've been using and teaching to help over 7,420 leaders to scale up to 15x times in less than 12 months. I'm also going to be sharing with you the infinite prospecting code, which is really how you can access unlimited prospects and convert them into serious business builders. We're also going to be covering how you can activate massive duplication. In fact, we're going to be looking at the 3 key important things and how that actually gets your team members results faster without overworking long hours and giving up all your family time, your sanity, and maybe even your health, right? And we're also going to talk about duplicatable team systems and what are the secret ingredients to real exponential team growth and creating momentum through these predictable, sustainable systems. I mean, this way, you're on the right path. You're putting your time, energy, and focus into the right way of working. And not only results will come, but they will be predictable and sustainable. So now, if you're excited about all these topics, go ahead and put a 6 into the chat box. Let me see that you're here. Okay, wow, all the 6s are coming in. That's awesome. Now, basically, I'm going to be covering everything so that you can go ahead and build 100,000 per year business in the next 12 months using duplicatable systems and without having to continuously be recruiting and rebuilding your team. If you're someone that you've typically recruited a few people and then 90 days, you don't even know where these people are, this is exactly what we're going to be teaching. How do you, stay focused on duplication and systems and continue to scale your income? So, a couple of house rules. First of all, this webinar is not about how to get rich quick in network marketing. I'm not going to be teaching anything that is, click a button and make money on autopilot. This is nothing like it. Also, I'm not going to be teaching anything like fake it until you make it. You really must be a true leader, and the information that I will be giving you, you need to be willing to learn the skills and apply the strategies. So if that's who you are, great, because in this way, we can really help you to unlock this exponential growth in your business. But otherwise, I don't think we can help. And I'll be quite honest with you. And while it's great to have you on this webinar, right now may be the time for you to leave. If you're looking for a get-rich-quick scheme, or just fake it till you make it, or some automated system that does everything for you, this is not what this webinar is about. So the rules and results are also that I'll be covering are not actually typical. The results that I'll be showing, both ours and those of our successful students, are not typical at all. And you know what? The average person who attends our trainings, just like this one, doesn't take much action, and he really doesn't take any action on what they learn, and therefore gets zero results. So there is no guarantee after seeing this webinar that you'll get any results at all. Again, this is only for people who are actually willing to apply themselves, go create some skills, and take massive action. And these are the students that I'll be showing you. This is exactly what they actually did. So it's completely up to them. Now, does this sound like you? I mean, if this sounds like you, then this webinar is definitely for you. Now, let's have a look at a couple of things that you may be thinking right now. Maybe you're continuously recruiting a few people, and then every time you do that, you recruit a group of people, and 90 days later, they're really not doing anything. So you're back at searching for new people, back at square one. Or maybe you see other people in your company, or even through social media, right, making big money and growing fast, and then wonder, what are they doing that I'm not, right? So if this is you, this webinar is going to be really insightful. Now, also, you may be thinking, when will our team finally start growing faster? When will my team finally do that without me having to hold everyone else's hand? If that's you, we'll be covering how you can, actually get out of that. If you're wishing you had a way of automating some of the prospecting and training so that you can stop wasting your time on repetitive things every single day and working such long days, then this webinar is going to be for you. And also, do you secretly know that you deserve more income, but you're frustrated because you just don't know why you're stuck at an income like yours? If that sounds like you, we're going to be covering all of that. And you know what? The real challenge, the real problem here is that you're probably asking the wrong questions, and therefore you're getting the wrong answers. And so sometimes in life, it's seeing things from a different perspective. And when you ask the right questions, you get completely different results. And that's what I'm hoping to do here for you on this webinar today. A good question to ask may be, for example, how can I stop focusing only on recruiting, leverage my time better, and help my new team members to duplicate faster? And so we're going to be covering all of that in this webinar. Now, once you start asking the right questions, what will happen is you will have infinite prospects to talk to. You'll also will help your new team members to get results in 24 hours or less. And you will scale your income while you slowly decrease the amount of time you're working. And once you ask these good questions, you'll also have finally a scalable network marketing business based on actual systems and not just hype and your energy that can make $10,000 per month every single month with predictability. Also, you can break through that invisible ceiling on your income that will finally disappear, and you will blast right through it away from having to do more stuff. And you can do all this while finally being able to tap into that excitement that you had when you first started your business. Remember that? You're so excited, you're going to do whatever it takes, and you can get that back so you can build a business around your life and not the other way around. And the best part is you're going to be creating a sustainable, scalable, predictable duplication so that you can finally get the freedom that you deserve. So welcome. My name is Masha Chamajar, and on this picture here, this is my husband and business partner, Miguel Montero, and together we co-founded a company called Pyjama Bosses, and we have more than 13 years experience in network marketing. We've built multi-million-dollar teams all around the world, and in fact created a 7-figure MLM business in 30 plus countries, very international. We are from Spain and Slovenia originally, but live right here in Australia. And today we don't actively build a network marketing business, even though we enjoy the income, But for the past few years, we've really been focused on helping leaders customize team duplication systems so that we can help them scale to 6 and 7 figure incomes. We're speakers, authors, coaches, all of that. I mean, we've done a couple of things right, but certainly it all started with doing a few things wrong. And you know what? It's really not about us and our success. So I wanted to introduce you to some of our students, and specifically to one student that will share with you what happened to him and his business when he started working with us.
The first couple of months after starting to put the team onto the system, we saw huge growth, and my income grew from, when I started with Pyjama Bosses, my income grew from an average about $3,000 a month to 2 years later reaching up to sort of $90,000 a month. So it's been amazing, and I put it all down to the systems and the trainings that we've been able to pull through with Pyjama Bosses.
So how many of you would like to see growth like this, right? And so this is really what we're going to show you right here in this webinar. So we're going to be covering, a lot of our student stories. And like I said, this is just the start. We're going to be covering a lot more. But really, over the last 18 months, we've been so focused on helping thousands of leaders to create team duplication systems. And, over 7,420 leaders have been able to prospect 361,000 something people with these systems. We've had hundreds of leaders scale their businesses up to 15x, and you see Andrew's story is completely amazing. We created duplication systems for MLM companies, and just the other day we were looking at numbers, and systems that we have built turn over annually over $200 million in revenues combined in all the different companies that we've supported by building their systems. And so really, if you start asking the right questions, your income can scale fast to 6 figures. So here's the 6 transformations. Before you go and do this, I want to now share what you need to go and do so that this happens in your business. And if you want to play the 6-figure level in less than 12 months, here's the 6 things that need to happen. Are you ready? So if you guys are ready, I want you to say yes in the chat box. Let's now go into the 6 steps to 6 figures. First of all, the first thing you must do is to choose one path and stick with it. See, I see so many leaders who are, searching for the right way. And while it's important to always continue to upgrade yourself, learning new strategies, learning new things, it can be detrimental to your business as well. So the one thing that you need to understand about network marketing and scaling fast to 6 figures is that it's important to choose one path and stick to it. And so, when you look at that, our story, 10 plus years back when we first, were scaling our business, it wasn't hustle that got us to 6 figures. We were literally doing absolutely everything. We were cold calling through the phone book. We were, going to fairs. We were going through social media. We're buying leads. We tried everything. And it seemed like we were doing everything, but nothing was working until one day, it just dawned on us that we have a completely scattered focus. So we finally understood we need to choose just one path and stick to it. And that was the start where we literally went from very little income to over $9,000 in a week in just 9 months. And at that point, we were literally just doing one thing and everything seemed to be working. Duplication was happening, our team was scaling. More importantly, people in our team were finally getting results. And so, the real secret to 6 figures is deciding on which path to focus and then maintain an obsessive focus and do more of the same thing. You see, I see leaders get very excited about the greatest, latest new social media recruiting strategy. And then not only they're implementing it in their business, but they're teaching it to a couple of team members. And now duplication is breaking over and over again. So the first thing you must decide is choose one path, stay really boring, and obsessively do more of it. So here's a couple of stories. We have so many students that take this simplicity on board. And Louise, for example, was, before she started working with us, unable to duplicate deep into her team, and her income was continuously plateauing. It was stuck, even though she's had a small team building, it was stuck. And she says she was exhausted like a rat on the wheel. Now, once she's implemented this strategy, what she feels is now she doesn't need to hold everyone's hand, because guess what? It's only about one thing. And once she has shown it to people, that's it. Everyone can do it. So now duplication is going deeper into her team, and she has more time back to be able to grow her team faster. Just think of that. If you were doing less things, wouldn't you be able to go and grow your team faster? And the other case study I want to mention here is Michelle. I mean, absolutely amazing lady, but before working with us, she was really frustrated with continuously having to train people and, tell them strategies and point them down different directions. Everything was scattered. There was no central piece of, information that she was feeding them, and duplication wasn't happening. And quite honestly, she said to us, she was quite reserved. She had many reservations about having a real system in her business. But after implementing it and really working through, choosing one thing so she can scale her income, she says she saved hours of her time every day. And not only that, that helped her mom to save her house, which was a massive win for Michelle and her family. And duplication in her team was finally consistent. And this was so exciting. After 9 months of working with us, she became one of the top leaders in her company. So, these are just a couple of success stories of people who have diligently applied choosing one thing and doing more of it, and therefore duplication had started to happen faster. So that's the first principle. The second principle is the infinite prospecting code. Now, I really want you to understand that all of us, of course, in network marketing quite often get very fearful around not having enough people to talk to. But I want you to really understand that having infinite prospects is sometimes not just about numbers. It's about how you actually do those numbers. So it's not just a numbers game, it's how you play the game. So what does that all mean? Well, first of all, this is the reason that even the shiniest, brightest new social media prospecting or lead generation strategy won't fix your problem. The reason you don't have enough people to talk to is not because somebody or some trainer, some guru didn't tell you this latest and greatest new trick to get more people. It's actually quite deep, much deeper than that. Obviously, there's so many ways to get to people. There's cold market, hot market, warm market. There's all these different ways how we talk to people, offline, online. That is all great. But you see, it all comes down to how you actually talk to them. Because if you can make your prospect believe that they can do it, you will quickly get new people to talk to. And why is that? Well, if I can make a prospect believe that what I'm doing is so simple, they can do it, then hopefully they're more likely to jump on board and become one of my business builders. And if they do that, I will quickly be building my team into depth. And rather than me searching for thousands of people, I'll actually be building my team the right way through my brand new business builders and team members. And so that is the core concept that many people miss and never hit 6 figures. So you're probably asking now, well, Masha, how do I do that, right? How do I make the prospect believe that they can do it? What is the process? What's the system? Give it to me, right? It's really a very simple 3-step process. And it all starts with, of course, creating relationships with people, no matter where you meet these people, online, offline, no matter what social media platform. It should start with a 2-minute voice call. And let me just encourage you, and this is not the actual subject of this webinar, but let me encourage you to still talk to people once you've created relationship. On that call, you're going to be sharing a tool. Perhaps you have a recruiting tool or a recruiting system that you're using. And by you pointing to a tool, that is the first step. And then you're going to also schedule a 3rd step, which is another phone call where you're going to be collecting a decision. You see, ideally, this step 3 is a 3-way call. So by the time you take a new prospect through this process, they're thinking, well, what did Masha just do? I mean, she talked to me for 2 minutes. She told me to watch that video. And now there's this other guy who's answering all these questions for me. So Masha's making money while she hasn't really done much. I think I can do this. And when you create this, light bulb in your prospect's head, they're much more likely to join you. And not only that, they're much more likely to actually take action and start building the team with you. So numerous of our students, who we build systems for and start working with us have real kind of light bulb moments. I mean, Jonetta here says, the system brought in 4 trials, which is 4 customers and 1 associate that joined just in the last week. I also have 2 other ladies that are now watching the videos, and 1 checking it with her and 1 waiting until next week. So how would you like to have, 4 customers and 1 new business builder join every single week? Would that be exciting? And it's really not about how to find more people, because once you have found a few people, it's really about building into depth. It's really about working with their prospects. And you can't do that unless you have this 3-step simple way of actually recruiting, prospecting, a simple system. So I hope that makes sense. And that's the second important thing. You can get to infinite prospects, and it's not about numbers. It's not the numbers game. It's about how you play that game. Now, let's go to number 3. Number 3, this transformation, what you need to do here is you need to find a closing strategy that's going to be scaling you fast to 6 figures. And one closing strategy that I really love is this powerhouse closing strategy. And by the way, you don't need to be the powerhouse yet. You just use it to become one, right? So you can get more business builders in your team. So, one thing that is really important that we learned in the second strategy is that you always need to be creating this belief in your prospect's head, which is, I can do this. The more you can do it, the faster you're going to get more people on board, and they're more likely to be your business builders. So how can you get to follow up with prospects and get them to believe that they can do it while you're following up on them? What's that process in the follow-up? I mean, we saw the prospecting and recruiting process, right? How we actually share the information with them, but what's that follow-up process? Well, it's really simple. We've trialed so many different things, and what we've come up with, the most successful way, that literally if you use the right scripts, the right process, the right tools, the right system, can be almost 100% effective. So what we teach is that you showcase your recruiting system over a 3-way call on Zoom and literally show the prospect how you have actually shared the information with them. So saying something like, hey, Peter, now that, you've seen what we did, basically Masha called you up for 2 minutes and then you saw this quick video and now you're talking to me. How many times a week, or in fact, how many times a day do you think you could do this? How easy would it be for you to build this business? Does that make sense? And you're creating an epiphany in your prospect's head that everyone is able to do this very fast. There's no big learning curve. They don't need to learn everything about the products, the business, a compensation plan. And really the key to this closing strategy is that everyone does the same thing in your team. So what that means is you have a little recruiting system, everyone has the same system, everyone is closing in the same way. You get the message, right? The first strategy I shared with you is you need to choose one thing and scale with it. And so I want to share with you Jeffrey's story. When Jeffrey and his team first started using our systems, they had quite a revelation, and I want you to hear it from him.
The people that have used the system and are actually using it and are actively, going through what we call the income producing activities, they are getting incredibly good results in terms of the response from the initial, you could say, exposure tool, and then, the follow-up process and the methodologies that we're using. For those that are doing it, it's working really, really well.
In fact, at some point he said, Masha, we started to track it. And if people are using the scripts, the systems, the processes that you've taught us, they're getting almost 100% close. And guess what? A lot of the people are becoming business builders. And out of that, in Jeffrey's team, just recently we got this picture, which is Chloe and his team who won the top award in their company. And literally when she first started, just a few months before that, she didn't have any experience, but she was very teachable and actually started to use that system. So these are real stories, real people, who follow the process, and this is the results that we had.